You think about someone and then they text you, or you wonder if you should do something and a song comes on with the exact words that you needed to hear. Now it's small, it's surprising, and it's perfectly timed. And part of you wonders, was that just a coincidence or is there something more? Well, here's what I believe. Those moments are like love notes from the universe, from life. They are tiny reminders that we aren't lost, that we aren't alone, that there's life supporting us. So let me share with you a story about a little bakery in Chicago. It's called Give Me Some Sugar. And a man named Vamar used to stop there all the time. He loved the lemon bars and he loved the pancakes and he loved sharing laughs with the owner of the bakery. And he said she always made him feel really comfortable. Well, Vamar was 35 when he found out that he was adopted, and he decided to take a DNA test, and everything in his life totally changed. One day his phone started ringing and the number was coming from Give Me Some Sugar Bakery, and he thought, well, that's weird. Why are they calling me? So he picked up the phone, and the woman that he had been seeing every week at the bakery said, "Hi, Vamar, it's Lenore. Are you sitting down?" And he was concerned. He said, "Yeah, is everything okay?" And her voice was quivering, and she said, "Lamar, it's more than okay." When I found out what I'm about to tell you, my heart burst wide open. She said, "You are my son." Well, it turns out that Lenore had given up her son when she was 17 years old. And all of this time, they had lived in the same neighborhood in Chicago. And this whole time, they had no idea. But somehow, life had already connected the dots for them. Lenore said that when they got together for the very first time again, after they'd heard the news, that their connection was just so immediate, and both of their hearts were wide open, and their faith was strengthened by this miracle. And the timing was also perfect because Lenore was going through some health challenges, and Vamar stepped in to take over the bakery. And once she got better, they started running the bakery together. And Vamar got also to meet his huge extended family, and now he has a vision of one day passing the bakery along to his children and create a real family legacy. Now, I think a story like this, it's not just luck, it's not just coincidence. This is what it looks like when something bigger is at play, when something is being lined up on our behalf. So I think that synchronicities show up to remind us that there is a greater interconnectedness of the universe that we are a part of, and that we can really trust that we are being cared for, and that there is a divine timing and a divine order at play in everything. And I found that synchronicities can show up to just kind of confirm that we're on the right path, or they can just be little hints about, you're doing great, or they can show us what our next step is. And the more we recognize them, the more we look for them and recognize them, the more they tend to show up for us. And we start noticing that there are little love notes from the universe everywhere. I had one recently. It's small, but it's cool. I went to a Zumba class. Zumba is a dance class that I love doing. And I was actually visiting Maui, and I was away from home, and I knew about this class, and I hardly had any time to get ready to make the class. So I grabbed this purple workout top that I don't normally wear. And I'm thinking, okay, why'd I put that on? But I did. At the end of class, as I was about to leave, I noticed a man in the back of the room. He was wearing almost the exact same purple top. And so I went over to him and I laughed and I said, "Hey, we're twins today." And we started talking, and he shared about this incredible story about how he had just met his adult son for the first time about a year earlier, and he started describing his son to me, and his son happened to work in my industry. And I said, wait a second, this is a small industry. He's also teaching online. I said, "What's your son's name?" And he told me his first name, and I couldn't believe it. His son I knew from his first name, which was an unusual first name. His son is one of my friends, one of my colleagues. I love it. Here I am in a Zumba class in a completely different state than where I live, an ocean away. This man and I were strangers. We happened to wear the same color that day, and we connected. And it felt like one of those beautiful little love notes that was reminding me of the magic of the universe. So I think that these moments, sometimes they're little nudges, sometimes they're surprises, sometimes they're things that turn into bigger things. They have perfect timing. They're not random. They're like little breadcrumbs. And maybe they help just build your faith, or they answer a question that you've been holding in your mind. They're really a reminder that you are being guided. You are being held by something bigger than yourself, and you are where you are meant to be right now. So I want to know, have you had moments like that in your life? I'd love for you to share them with us in the comment section, because I think the more we can just celebrate each other's little synchronicities and universal love notes, the more we can be in awe of life's synchronicities together. So if you're wondering whether this moment meant anything, that little synchronicity, whether the timing or the crossing of paths or that tiny nudge was real, well, here's what I want to say. Pay attention. Pay attention to what moves you, to what feels just too cool or cosmic or beautiful to be random, because life has a way of weaving meaning even through these small little synchronicities. It might show up like a lyric of a song, or a person wearing purple in your Zumba class, or as lemon bars, or as second chances. You don't have to make sense of it all. You just have to be open and see what is there. These are moments of grace that are dressed as ordinary life, and they are here to remind you, you are not alone. You are guided. I send you my love.